day, another live stream for you guys. Tonight we're gonna make a skirt steak with an umami miso butter. And I'm pairing it with a Benihana inspired fried rice. Cheers, and let's get this party started. Benihana is known for their garlic butter, and they add some soy sauce to that butter. So instead of salting it, they add soy sauce, and it's the best tasting butter I've ever had. So tonight we're gonna make my version of that. We're gonna add some white miso and really juice it up for flavor. And we're gonna put that in our fried rice and our steak. Our first step, believe it or not, is actually to prep the fried rice. And I have some diced and chopped vegetables. I've got a half of a white onion chopped or diced, and some diced carrots, some green beans. They use peas, but I had green beans, so I'm using those. And I also have some green onions or scallions. You can use, a different kind of onion or chives as well. Before we get started though, I just want to show you how to dice a carrot, because I feel like it's one of those skills that a lot of people don't know how to do, because carrots are so weirdly shaped. They have this like front tip that's so skinny, and then the end is fat, and it's all confusing. So I just wanted to do that really quickly so you guys can see how it's done. I washed my carrots. I always wash them and then store them. And then you cut the ends off. You can peel it if you want. For me, I see no need. And then you kind of just cut it in the sections where the width is different. So you're gonna get some that's a little different in the width, but the goal is to have the same width throughout. And you're gonna just take a section of your carrot vertically and slice it down. So we're gonna kind of just cut off the round edges and turn our carrot just into a gigantic rectangular cube, or 3D rectangle, if that's like how you say it. So save the scraps for chicken stock, anything with carrots, carrot puree. And so you got this rectangle carrot. You're gonna just slice it thinly into strips and cut these strips into matchsticks. So however thick you want, and you don't have to stack them this high, I'm doing it. So just slice right down. And then once you get your carrot matchsticks, you line them up and you run your knife through them to make a dice. So you're gonna just like claw them. I'll just do a smaller amount for right now. I'll hold it with my claw, so essentially my knuckles, and just bring my knife right down. Let's get started with our rice. I'm gonna turn my burner on. So I need 2 stovetops for this recipe. I've got this one here. So this is my main shebang bang happening with the fried rice. And then I have one back here for my steak. This is a large saute pan. You can use a wok. Use something large and with an edge so your ingredients don't fall out. A tablespoon of vegetable oil. Any oil really works. I just added about a tablespoon of vegetable oil. I'm gonna let this oil kind of loosen up. But in the meantime, I have a skirt steak here. So I think this is about 1 pound. It feeds 2 people. I'm gonna dry it off with a paper towel. And I did let my steak come to room temperature. That's important just so it cooks evenly. I'm gonna go wash my hands because obviously I touched raw meat. I know we're using some salty ingredients in our butter, but it is just really important to season as you go for each part of the recipe. All right, this oil is looking perfect. It is shimmering, it is glossy, it is gorgeous. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw my onions, carrots, and green beans in. You should hear like a faint sizzle, but you don't want an aggressive sizzle because that means everything is gonna brown too quickly without softening. And we want some soft onions and carrots. Just give them a little zhuzh. Let me show you. So I got all my veggies in here so far. I do have those green onions sitting there, but I want to wait until I'm about to add my rice so they don't overcook. The green onions are more of a garnishing herb with that vibrant flavor, so we don't want to kill it with the heat. And while those saute, Yes, we could start our steak, but I want to have an eye on that steak, so let's make our butter first. I have a mortar and pestle here. You can use a food processor or just a bowl with a spoon. Speaking of spoons, I gotta get a spoon. Do I have one? No, so I'm gonna use a fork. Gotta improvise sometimes. Okay, so I have some butter here, unsalted butter. I'm gonna put it in my mortar and pestle. Like I said, if you're using a bowl or a food processor, whatever floats your boat. The point here is we're mixing a compound butter. We're combining all of our ingredients. So I've got about 3 cloves of minced garlic. You can buy it pre-minced or you can mince it. Mince fresh garlic. I'm adding some white miso, some soy sauce, and then I am adding some minced scallions as well. So I've chopped scallions and I have minced scallions here. And the reason I like to mince them is it really allows that aroma to come out. So use a spoon or a fork or whatever you're using to mix it all together. I am going to switch to my little mortar and pestle thing. This is really good for just crushing food, and I like to use it just to make sure I'm crushing that garlic a little more and getting it to infuse into that butter. Kind of works the same as a food processor. The mortar and pestle actually was the food processor for ancient chefs. It was a way to make pesto, to make salsa, really just crush and grind up your food. That's really good. I think it needs some more miso. Much better. I love that. And we're gonna season our pan with some vegetable oil. You can use any oil, but definitely use an oil here. When you're searing a meat, you want to develop caramelization. So that's that brown crispiness on the outside, and an oil really helps to do that. In the pan, I have 2 eggs, so I'm making kind of an empty space in the middle of my veggies. It's similar to what they do at Benihana, but a little lower scale. And crack my eggs in the middle. I'm gonna whisk them before they start to cook over easy. So just use the same wooden spoon and mix that yolk together. I don't know if you can see, but I have this little well in the middle of my veggies, and now I'm scrambling this egg. And you can get some veggies in there. You can have a little veggie egg scramble, no problem. Ooh, our oil shimmering. You see how this is kind of a multitasking dish where you scramble the eggs. Let these scramble. I'm gonna bump that heat down so I can take care of our steak. Where's our beautiful steak? I do recommend using tongs for something like this just so you don't have a splatter. All right, that looks not good. Okay, there we go. So just lay the steak down, flatten the pan, and let's rotate the oil around the steak just to make sure it's evenly coated. But at this point, stop touching it. Stop touching it. I'm gonna put my heat's on about medium high. Let that sit. Don't touch it. Scrambled egg mixture is cooking into my vegetables. Beautiful. I could have probably done 3 eggs, but I'm gonna leave it at 2. And now we're going to add some of our butter. Woohoo! 2 tablespoons here. It's a generous portion of butter. But then again, think of all that butter they use at Benihana. They don't go light on it, I'll tell you that. I have some pre-made white rice, really simple. And I'm just going to add as much as I want. Bump my heat up just a little bit. Pans are so heavy, you guys. Yum though. We can't skip some of the rice. Let's let this toast a little bit. Hello, caramelization. Woohoo! Can you guys, I just want to show you that brown, beautiful outside. I bet it's going to set off the smoke alarm, so I'm going to bring it back. Alright, I'm going to let it keep hanging out on the stove. We're going to just add, I know, a little more butter. can't make this stuff up, you guys. Just a little more, not like half a tablespoon, so I want to keep the rest for my steak. And this is where you have some customization, however much soy sauce you like. I love soy sauce, so I'm gonna make like 3 rounds. Put it down, let's see how it tastes, and then we'll revisit. I do have some crispy bits at the bottom of my pan. At the end, I'm gonna try and scoop those up so I can eat them. Yum. All right, this oil around it is getting really sexy. Don't worry, I didn't forget about the butter. If you thought I did, then you don't know me. Woo-hoo! There's really nothing better than a crispy outside of a steak. And that really medium rare, juicy inside. Oh my God. It is time for me to add my green onions. I'm gonna just, you know what? No, let's come back in here for topping. So I'm gonna leave those in here, and I think our steak is done. So let's get our tongs. We're gonna let our steak rest. Woo! See the difference in the noise levels? All right. Perfect. So we're at 130. Let's test the thinner side. So the thinner side is at 138. The thicker side is about 128. I'm gonna let it rest and let the juices redistribute, and it should be perfectly cooked. We have all this beautiful sauciness happening in our pan. It's basically steak flavored oil, but call it salsiness. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, you guessed it, our butter to that. And we're going to make a little pan sauce. But first, let's just make sure our rice is going strong so you guys can see. Oops. Now I'm eating with my husband, and we don't really care if our germs get in the food, so I probably won't take a second fork. But if you're feeding a group, you should probably just use a different tasting spoon every time. We have permission to use this butter in our little steak sauce. So I would say this is about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons. I'm going to add it. I've removed this from the heat. This is already piping hot. So I'm just going to let this combine. I'm going to just taste it off the spoon, because I think I'm done with this spoon. Oh, absolutely. You know what? I think we could even juice it up with a little more soy sauce. Just a hint. And I'll use the spoon. Mix it up one more time. And we should be good to cut our steak in a second, because it rests for about 5 minutes. And some sesame seeds as well. I lowered the heat to low, so I have black and white sesame seeds, so I'm gonna do that. But do whatever sesame seeds make you happy. And just toss them in. We'll save some for topping. I'm going to hold it with my tongs or just with my hand and slice on a slant. I just sometimes don't like using these tongs. Okay, there we go. Just put your tongs on top of it like it's your extra hand. There we go. It's perfection! Woo! I love it. I'm gonna take a bowl and gather some fried rice in the bowl like they do at Benihana. Let's see if this works, because they're such masters. I have a very big bowl for this, so this might not work, but worth a shot. So let's just load it up. Fill it up really high, and then shit. Okay, let's see if this works. Oh, it's so slippery. Oh yeah, we did it. Oh my God. Oh yeah, I feel like I just won the Olympics. Now let's plate our steak with it. And before we plate it, I just want to toss it in this sauce. Give it some flavor, a little bit. So we're like literally just throwing it. It's not gonna cook because our pan has relaxed a little bit. I'm just going to give it a little mix in this sauce, fully coat it so that when I put it on my plate, it's already covered in the sauce, and I'll just do a very generous pour over there. Okay. And you'll notice you'll probably get some oil splashes. That should be enough. And if you have a little mess on your plate, just use a clean paper towel. And you can wet it with some water or just use it dry, depending on what has spilled. And just give it a little do-do-do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And let's top with some sesame seeds. Who cares if I mix and match? You know what? Throw some sesame seeds on the plate too. It looks really pretty. And some extra scallions. Well, on the steak would be preferred, but these are fine. These are chopped scallions, and a little more on the rice. Let's try it out. I'll do a little end piece. That is so good. The miso, it just hits all those notes, but it's so subtle. If someone really isn't keen on miso, you could serve this to them, and they'd be like, "Ooh, this is really good." And they'll say, "What is that?" They'll say miso. Gotcha. And let's try our fried rice, our final fried rice. I know I've been munching on this. I'm so proud of that. Ah! Okay, let's take a bite. Gets me every time. It really reminds me of Benihana fried rice. It's not soy sauce heavy, it's buttery, and it's toasty, a little sweet in the nose because that miso, and it's garlicky. All right. I gotta go before I start eating this all. Let me know what you want me to make next time. This is delicious. I mean, even if you're quarantined, it's pretty basic ingredients minus the miso. If you don't have the miso, it's not the end of the world. Benihana doesn't even use miso, so just make it basic, make it however you like, but this is how you make it, and pair it with a nice fruity drink and pretend that you're at Benihana, but you can eat in your pajamas. Benihana in your pajamas. Signing off, this is Skyler Bouchard, and you're watching the Benihana Pajamas Party. Seriously though, thank you for watching, and if you want to follow me, you can find me on Instagram, Dining with Skyler and Skyler Bouchard, and my blog is withskyler.com. You can get all my recipes, including this one, written out on there. And cheers, have a great night. Bye guys.